Happy Saturday, everyone. So I think we're having a lot of fun today. This was fun last week too, wasn't it? So I'll show you the flip through of all the ones that I made here over on Patreon. But let's get into week 47 because this is going to be a lot of fun. I think you are really going to enjoy what I have planned because it really will allow you to appreciate the work that you've done for the last 47 weeks. So this week is the last of our elements for gratitude of the elements of nature. Oh, wait, we have one more. We actually have one more, I think. Looks like it. I didn't get things out of order because I'm working on this manuscript. Some of you are asking me what was I reading from. And I know a number of you all have come in, you know, part the way through, and I appreciate, you know, you finding my channel and wanting to hang out. But it's a manuscript that I've written for help with, yeah, we have one more, it looks like. Help with, you know, being consistent with your journaling and just ideas for art journaling and how to just kind of stay in the space of journaling and just having ideas when you come into your studio, which is the big challenge most artists have. You know, you want to work, but like, well, what do I do? So this book will be designed to help with all of that. And so I took this year to flesh the book out with you all and make a lot of, you know, additions and new ideas for myself in here, and yeah, just really fleshing out the book. So this week 47 is gratitude for the elements of ether. So ether is what's considered the fifth element or the quintessence when in alchemy. Ether is the thing that alchemists say is the fundamental thing that makes all alchemy work. Without quintessence or ether, the fifth element, there wouldn't be alchemy. So this is really an interesting concept and thing to really think about even as artists, you know, like what that element that transforms our work into something special over just, you know, a sketch or a drawing or just something you do. It's the essence, it's the spirit of it. So let me read this to you, and as we consider ether. So this week we'll focus on gratitude for the element of spirit or ether, which goes by several names: spirit, ether, quintessence. It's Latin for the fifth element. I believe that we connect with the etheric field when we create. So that etheric field, the soul, the spirit, you know, the something that's very tangible in feeling, but intangible in matter, you know. It's the thing that holds our faith together, no matter what, you know, religion you may be. And even as an atheist, it's not about any system. It's about your belief in the things that you believe. It's the spirit. It's the essence of those things that you believe. So the unlimited field of pure consciousness is the place where our muses reside. So all those wonderful muses, the inspiration, those aha moments, the feeling of like elementals in our studio with us kind of guiding a painting or a collage or our jelly printing or whatever. So pure creativity is the lucid field of the cosmic womb. Or the Ouroboros, which is another symbol for the cosmic womb. When connecting with the element of spirit, we enter a space of total awareness, a place where we realize that we exist in the field of all knowing. Spirit is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. In cosmological models, the spirit is the transitory material between the physical and the celestial realms. Within the microcosm, the spirit is the bridge between body and soul. So mind, body, and spirit, right? Its directions are above, below, and within, and its colors are violet, orange, and white. There is no standard symbol for spirit, although circles are common. Eight-spoked wheels and spirals are also sometimes used to represent spirit. An example of my gratitude for the connection that comes in the field of the ethers is the interwoven in the Sacred Circles of the Rose Oracle deck. I'm going to show you all that for those of you who have never seen it. The deck was created and inspired in the tradition of many oracle systems that have come before it. Yet in many ways, I would dare to say that this deck is unique in its imagery and method, which the deck speaks to the user. This system uses an age-old tradition of imaging stories to deliver its message. The user must first connect with the abstract nature of the images, which, like Rorschach ink blots, to intuitively experience their initial messages. Then supporting text that was, when I did it, it was like automatic writing, so it just came through as this automatic writing. Came through for each card, connects to what has been previously received through intuition. So like, it's like the ether for me. I felt like, you know, a lot of the energy and the messages on the cards actually just came from that place of spirit, of my soul or ether, the etheric field, right? So the deck stimulates the user's intuition to recognize patterns and actions appropriate for self-expansion. It strengthens the user's connection to the deep pool of creative expression while connecting and opening the heart, the third eye, and the womb chakras. So as you journal this week, reflect on the elements of spirit, experience the gratitude that comes up in subtle ways as you during this week's journaling, spend time reflecting on this element of nature. And maybe even dig a little deeper into what is ether, what is the quintessence, what's Robin talking about, this whole thing of alchemy. It's a fun journey just to kind of move into a space of something you might not have thought about before. Experience the gratitude that comes up in subtle ways as you journey into the field of creativity. Yes. So I'm going to show you this deck that I'm talking about. I've had this for, the whole process has been about 7 years now. So these are actually the cards, and literally they're that's why they are titled the Sacred Circle of the Rose, because they're all circles, but the rose is like that idea of, you know, the 5 petal, the quintessence that's sort of connected to the divine, right? You see a lot of times feminine, like the Mother Mary and different things like that are connected to the rose. So this is about feminine essence. It's really Gaia. It's earth. This is really about earth. And the various circles are kind of intuitively have messages. So this is, and these are all jelly prints. So I just went into a jelly printing frenzy one afternoon and really enjoyed it. I made all of these in one afternoon of painting. And then when I was done, maybe a few days later, I looked at them and like on the right side of my head, you know, sort of like coming through the right ear, I heard, that's going to be an oracle deck. I thought, an oracle deck? Like, I've never even thought about making an oracle deck. So these are all jelly prints. And I'm in the process of redesigning this a bit. This is one of my first designs, but it's going to be, all the images are going to be the same, but I'm sort of redesigning how, because I will be having this in production. Right now I had it as a downloadable, but I think I even removed that. As I'm reworking them, this will actually be a box set. I'm expecting that sometime next year, hopefully. And so all of these also have a manual. So it has a book that goes with it. And each one of these, there are 32 of them. So you see the number at the bottom. And each one of them has like a message that goes with them. And they're all just very inspiring. They're just insightful. They really do come from this place of just nature. If you would think about it, I would think a lot of this feels like it comes from the space of nature, the various prompts. So that's the deck I'm talking about, and that I referred to in my manuscript. But we're going to talk about some others, and we're going to get to our project. So this is the finish of, you saw this one, that's what we did on Saturday. So this is one that I did. I just love the way these came out. And then this one. So this is actually an image that I took when I was in Venice a couple years back. I just love the gondolas, and I love when they cover them up. That blue is so beautiful. So I kind of even sort of extended the idea of looking a little bit more postcard, or, you know, something that looks like a travel missive. I love that. And then this one, I just love that these two pieces of paper, this one looked like the night sky, and this one looked like the continuation of, it looks like all these lights that were coming from the bridge and all around it were just shining on this dark water. And that's how Venice looks at night too. So I picked this one to go across. I loved it. I thought that was just beautiful as it was. And then the last one is, I had a photo of myself with the background. This is another photo that, well, I didn't take it. My daughter took it. We were traveling together, but from my collection. So then this piece that we worked with, I thought just looked so gorgeous as the water and, you know, the sky. And then I bridged it with some text and, you know, some traditional sort of Italian Venice looking type of fabric, which is a photocopy of some. So yeah, I love it. I thought that came out really nicely. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this series. I hope you guys did as well. So there we have it. Let's go down to the table and get started. Okay, so what I thought we would do today is we're going to make a set of our own inspirational cards, and I'm big on that. So this is one that I did a while back on YouTube, I think last year, not this year, and they were using Seth Apter's stamps of various just kind of inspiring words, and I like the script. I mean, the text of these, they look like old typewriter text. And so I took just some playing cards, and we did this as a project. It's here on YouTube, and I just made these sort of journal prompt cards, and he had a stamp set called Storyteller, and I just thought it was like, these kind of prompts are so neat, just even if you want to go into your studio and get started and you're like, I don't know what to do. You can literally take some inspiring cards. I've done this for years, and just, you know, just get a card, go in here, pull it out, and what's this say? It says superfluous. So, you know, this could just be an inspiration to start working. So you could even think about the color palette of your cards, maybe as a way, like, let's say you have no ideas. You say, okay, let me pull these colors out. I like them. And then, you know, think about the word superfluous, you know, and use it as a starting point, even if you just start playing around with writing the word or different words that are in the word. And just, it's a great way to just kind of get yourself going in the studio and get your mind going in a direction that you probably would not be going in, or you just be sitting there still figuring out what to do. So I love these cards. Mysterious, Agog, Cacophony, Infinity. I picked this deck because they were just so unusual, like just so many words, plethora, echo, just so many words you don't think about every day. Sojourn, and I think oxidize, it's a way to sort of think in terms of something you really wouldn't think about, you know. And even if sometimes you look the words up just to get inspiration, okay, what is that? How many different ways can that word be used? How many sentences does a dictionary show the word is used, and stuff like that? It's amazing. Sometimes go to the etymology of the word. I love the etymology dictionary. So I'll go to etymology to see, okay, how do we come up with this word Agog? And then within reading the etymology, oh my goodness, so much other inspiration comes up. It's amazing. So that's the deck that I made, and I use this here in the studio, and I have a lot of fun with this. Another deck I would like to show you. This is one by Cinda Woods, who is actually in our YouTube community, and she sent these to me, and I just adore them. And we work from this deck every Monday in the book club, art journaling club that I have over on my Facebook group. And if you haven't signed up or gone in, just go over there, and I'll put the link for the group, but it's free. And every Monday we meet for about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and oh my goodness, we're just fleshing out our mythos and telling our stories and working in the journal, and just, it's so inspiring. I'm having a good time over there. We're reading my assistant's, you know, my project manager, Ewa's book, which is the Her Lot of Alonia. You know, we did that in September using the printables. So this deck is Be Juicy, Be Jaguar, Be You. And what Cinda did is just took a lot of inspirational things, and she has a book that goes with it that you can sort of journal and do things. But I love this deck. So we pull cards from this deck. But for instance, this one is the Jaguar stands strong and dispels the stereotype that spiritual beings are soft and need protection. Jaguars reverberate a deep, resonant, hearty purr and thrives in the jungle bird song, scent of copal, sips of cacao, sound healing, and lacy leaf patterns that surround her lyre. That's the little things. I love it. I don't, you know, I just love the writing that Cinda put into these. And so that's another way you can go. If you like writing things yourself, or if you have a bunch of quotes that you love, you're a quote person, you could do cards and put quotes on the back of them and then be inspired when you want to use them in your studio just to get ideas. And the last deck that I want to show you is another one that I love, because you guys know I love Nick Bantock. And he's done a series of cards called the Archeo Personality Archetype cards. I love this deck. So once again, he's taken collages of different things, and each one of these are a part of, it's a book that goes with it. So when you look at the card number 3, then you can go to the book here, and you know, the strategist, the poet, you know, the moon cat, the midwife. It's like, this is such a good book, but all these cards are just amazing. I love this. To me, this is just a treat to have. Even if you don't even do the cards or anything like that, if you just love Nick's work and you just want to be inspired by collage, it's a wonderful way to do it. So I'll put the link for this underneath there as well. I need to make a note. I need to make some notes, because I'm talking about I'm putting links and I'm sure to forget. So let me make a quick note here. So we have Nick's Bantock cards. We have the Facebook group, and I don't exactly know if Cinda is selling these or not. I think she does. Let me find the link for these, and I'll put these down too if you're interested in her deck. I'm pretty sure she does. Okay, so how does that fit into what we are going to do? Well, I think you probably already got some ideas flowing of where I'm going. So this week I thought I would encourage you to think in terms of making your own deck, your own creativity deck, to be inspired by your images, your writing. You can just put quotes on them. You could put just words on them like I did with this deck. You know, you can just go through the dictionary and just think of words. Let's go flip through, and when you stop, that's a word, you put it on the card, you know, and that becomes an inspirational idea. So you can do words. You could have some favorite, like poetry that maybe inspires you. Maybe you might print those up and put them on the, you can actually print them, you know, on the computer, type them up, print them out, and adhere them to the back of the cards. There are so many ideas. If you write, like I do a lot of my notes. Where's my thing? I'm constantly in the morning, just a lot of my ideas that come up, things that come up during my dream time. I've just started this new book. I keep books on this. So this one I just started in August. And but like for instance, like right here, this would be one I would probably use to see oneself rather than the image that the world has given us. I love that, you know, so to see ourselves rather than, other than the image that the world has given us. You know what I'm saying? It was a thought that I had, and I kind of put that down. So that's one that I would flush out and put on the back of a card. So yeah, so that's just an example. So maybe you write. Go back through your writings. Your dream time. If you like to keep dream journals. There's so many places that you can't believe the kind of inspiration that you have just sitting right around you. So what we're going to do, easy peasy way that we're going to make some cards. And we're going to honor the work we already have done. We're going to take images from our journals. Yes, you have now, after a year hanging out with me, you have tons of images that you can actually repurpose all kinds of ways from this is that quote that I really like. This could be on the back of a card. You are given what you are willing to give away. I love that. So what I want to encourage you to do is take pictures of your pages that you want to work with. So like on my phone, what I did is, I'll show you, I just went through and I took images, took pictures, and then I, edited the pictures, and then I sent it right to my printer and print them out. If you don't have a printer, collect them all, send them to FedEx, Kinko's, or to Office Max or whatever them, and then go pick them up, and they can just print them on regular copier paper, because that's all I used was copier paper. So I went through and got some images, and so you can see this is the enlargement of that one. Look at that. Instant, you got instant images. Even if you wanted to start using your own printables, right? You could print stuff and then tear bits of them and use them back in collages. These could become really wonderful book pages. Like, you could print a lot of them out, fold them in half, and even though things are going in different directions, it's fine, because now you can collage over these, and these become like an activated page that you can just add other stuff to. The sky is the limit, because now you just have a treasure trove of images that you can work from. So go through your journals, find your own images, and then print them out, or have them printed out, send them, like I said, there. And so you'll end up with some like this. So I didn't really think about how many cards at this point. I just, I decided to do some abstract, ones that have clear images. I wanted to show you how you can take abstracts and just flesh them out. This is some of my images with the photo that I took in Oviedo of the Duomo there. This is another one. So I just picked different types. So now we have those. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to take and use some cardstock. So this is just cardstock that, this is the Park Lane. It comes in different patterns, but I need to use some of my stuff up. So this is one I haven't opened yet. It's in the wood grain, and this is in just really pretty watercolor, or this is actually called marble paper. So I thought what I would do is just get, I think there, how many colors in here? I think 5 colors. So I'm gonna get one of each color. And this pack really wasn't expensive. I don't want to say it was like $6 or something. And then, when you get the ones with the coupons and stuff like that, that's when I buy stuff anyway. 20% off, 30% off. You can get this at Joann's. I know Joann's had it. I don't know if Michael's has it, but Joann's had it. Or get anything similar. Or just, you can actually literally use file folders. If you don't have any specialty papers and you don't want to go out and get any, that's fine. Just use file folders. Literally, you can repurpose your file folders and do the exact same thing that I'm doing here. So don't feel like you have to go out and get anything. You guys know I'm big on not having to go out and get anything. I'm using a lot of stuff up because I've got to clear my studio out. And so I'm really just trying to, with this whole move that I've got going as I finish building out my property. So I just need to use stuff up. So I wanted to use these, and it's a nice weight cardstock, and the backs will already have something pretty on them. So, and I could still write on these. I could still, glue on other words or ideas or writings, which is probably what I will do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, let me see, let's look at them and sort of match them up. It's always a fun thing to do. Let's see what we... So maybe this one with that. So maybe this one with this. Let me see. Maybe this one with that. I think those look good. So those two. Let's see. I think I have exactly 5. I didn't realize there were 5 colors, but I do. So let's use this one for this. And let's see of the two, which goes best. I think this goes good with this one, and this goes with that one. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is let's start. We're going to first glue these on. So let's just settle in and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put the glue. I'm going to use my glue stick, and I'm going to put it on the cardstock. That way I get a really good, and you know, you could use anything. You could use your, in fact, you know what? I think what I'm going to do after I use this, I'm not going to use my glue stick. I'm going to use my PVA. So you can use a white glue. So I'm going to stop right there, actually. I can put white glue on here still. So let's get white glue, because everybody can get white glue, even if you use Mod Podge, or if you use, because it goes fast when you do it like this, actually. Or, you know, you can get at the dollar store, you can pick up the, I always take a card and spread it. Just get things good around these edges too. Just want to get a good, you know, a good amount. I was gonna say, what's the one I was thinking about at the dollar store that I get there? They always sell it. I mean, I know Dollar Tree always sells this glue, the tacky glue, which is a white glue. That's what's in here. Or is that in there? Yeah, I think I put the tacky glue in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this piece down. Okay. So one down. Try not to be messy here. And let me get another card for smoothing. So I'm going to cut these into 4. So with just 5 sheets, we'll get 20 cards. So let's get this going. Okay, so I'll put this to the side and let it dry. I don't want to mess my backs up here, Robin. How did I get so much extra glue? That's crazy. Let me just get a better glue sheet here so I don't mess up my cards. Okay. So, let's do the next one. This is kind of wider. Let me just move this over. You know what? I think for the sake of time, I'm going to stick with the... I'm back and forth, I know. I'm going to stick with the glue stick. I would normally use the glue because that'll save a lot of my glue stick, but in order to stay on camera, I have to kind of work tight, and that means that I won't be able to have my glue at a separate place than my paper, and I don't want to mess up my stuff, so because I plan on using these. So the best thing is to stick with the glue stick, and alrighty. Got to get a fresh glue stick. I'll get this one down. I have enough. The main thing is really make sure you get to those edges, you know. Okay. So let's put the next one down. I kind of start at the top and kind of get the corners square, and then pretty much it goes down really good. Okay. So that's the technique that I would use to glue all the pages down. Okay, so I'm back. All the pages are done. I thought when I went to get the glue stick, I would spare you the time of watching me glue the pages. I showed you how to do, you know, a couple of different ways of doing them, and you know, you guys know how to glue your pages down. But it's always nice to know how I did them, because I know a lot of people will say, well, how did you do it? You know, that kind of thing. So, but the other three, I thought I would spare you of. So these are all, they're all glued down with our beautiful, you know, backs, or whatever you have as your backing. You could literally glue 2 sheets of paper together, if something else decorative on the back, or you could keep your back plain. So these are all done. So now the next thing you want to do before you go into cutting them up is to do some extra embellishings. Like this one has a really probably doesn't need any extra embellishing, except for once I cut it down, I will I have some labels over here. So I think I'll, you know, definitely do some additional labels and things like that on them, just to add depending on where I want them. So like this one, I probably wouldn't do anything else to, but leave like that because it's really full. This page, I probably am going to do a few things to it because there's a lot of writing there, and I want to just kind of get rid of some of that. So go and pull out your printables if you have some, and if not, you can definitely you know, use some of the other whatever you have. But I want to add some bits and pieces. I thought I'd pull out some of these because I thought these could be good. And then another easy one to do that always works really well is to pull out some printed pages and just use text. Text is always lovely to add on. So I'm going to just sort of grab a few sheets of stuff and sort of see what we use. So like for this one, what I would do is just add, so I want to add some more like right here. So you literally can go in and, you know, using your glue stick, we can just add. Just add into some of the places that look like they're going to be bare when you cut them down. So like when I go to cut this into 4s, you know, it'll be, this will be a side, this. Well, I can tell right here that this is going to be a little, you know, it's going to be a lot of sort of white space, or this creamy color space there. And also it's going to be nothing, I don't think, too interesting. So here also, let's break this up some, because when this goes to be cut, I'll have a lot of flowers, but I won't have anything else breaking it up. So just kind of look at your prints and sort of assess them. And even, you know, because what's nice is it's nice when you cut them to get like sort of the overlay that happens. But don't worry, because if you do it and you're like, oh, it's hard for me to tell, you can whoops, fingers are sticky. You can always cut them down and then do them. So let's see. Let's use a little bit of this. Some of the text, but get rid of it. So we'll just go through these and just zhuzh them up a little bit. It's not going to be a whole lot. So see, I want to see some of that text. So I'm just going to drop it down a little bit. And then anything that's hanging over the sides, we'll cut it before, we'll trim it before we cut these down. Okay, that's looking good. So see, when I go to cut this, I'm going to get like this, this. Let's get something else in over there. What do I want to use? Well, this bit of that leaf could be pretty cool. Let's do that. Just needs to be little pieces. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to really worry about what the pieces are. As long as you like it, the colors seem like they work, just have at it and it'll all work together. That's a piece I already had fussy cut, so might as well put it down. And I want something else over here because I feel like when I go to cut this, this is going to need something. So let's put this down here. Yeah, so this is, get to the cards being cut. You guys are really going to appreciate it. But I know you all can see where we're going. So let's put this like maybe right there. Let me get some fresh. Okay. So I'm going to kind of put this down here. That's, say that's good enough. So put them over here so they dry and are ready. Okay, so I think I'll stop there. No, you know what I want to do? Oh, hold up. Let's put a little bit of text across this whole area. So when we go to cut it, you know, it's going to do what we want it to do. Let's see. We could use something like that. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. That way I don't have all the paper around it sort of getting in the way. So I'm going to cut this, I'm going to put this sort of right in the center so that when I cut this 4 ways, it'll be a little bit of it will be on each card. And that's a nice option because, so this is kind of like the halfway point. See, so when it goes to be cut, where's my ruler? Let's see. So this is 11, so this is about 5 there. Yep. So that's good. So we're going to put it right about there. Let me get some glue on it. So you can think about that too. So you'll see as these things cut down, you'll develop, if you really have a collage like this with the idea of cutting things up, your eye will develop for it and you'll see what to do as you go along. So now we got a little bit of something in each one of them. Okay, so this one's good. We'll put that aside. Let's look at these. So this one, same thing. So let's get some text. I normally do that so I can sort of see, you know, what I have. So we could literally put some text across this whole. So one way of doing it is to put this in the center, just like I showed you, but now we have a bigger block and it will kind of take up. Oh, that's nice. I like that. So it'll be a little bit of this in every square. And let's get a little something else to zhuzh this top up. Maybe just to kind of give it a little bit more color so the colors work. So So yeah, if you have areas like that that you want to cover up, I mean, this is fine, but I think I want the cards to have a similar kind of, you know, pop. So we can just put a piece of a printable down. And you know, you could really take your time with this. I'm moving fast because I want to show you all the whole thing in the space of an hour. But you could literally spend a lot more time fleshing these prints out with layers. You know, maybe you would just keep on layering various translucent things in there versus, let's put that down. That's going to be neat. So you can see things, you know, underneath, you know, the whole thing. We've been collaging a lot together by now, you know what I mean? Just a layering idea, but I like this here. It adds a nice little bit of cool. So this will go in the middle. And I want to put something else. Let's go and put a little bit of something else in this area. Put some of this. And the nice thing about it, when you use elements that are on other cards, it makes it look more like a deck too. So you don't have to have everything the same, but you know, if you have bits and pieces, so when you flip through it, it looks like it all is a part of, you know, the same sort of processing. So I'm gonna put this kind of like right in there. It's gonna go there. And let's see what else we have. Let me look in here because I know I have more. I'm just really looking for scraps. I have more scraps, I'm sure of that. It's like I have some here. This. Oh, this one's nice. Oh, let's grab this too. Okay, that's good. Okay, so over here, let's get, this is going to go here. Let's get a little bit of, it's kind of thinking in terms of, okay, so let's rip this. Then I think I'm going to have a little bit kind of come into here, so I'm sort of seeing the collage there. And then this can go to here. Okay, let's glue that up. And that just breaks this up, but I still get to have some of that. Okay. So let's see. Kind of in here, I think I had it. Something like that, maybe. Okay. So that's looking good. So let's go ahead and put this down in the middle. And this will break that up nicely. So like I said, this is going to give us 20 cards. So just 5 sheets, cutting them into 4. So you see, you get a lot of cards pretty quickly. The holidays coming up, if you have someone, a friend and what have you, that's creative, doesn't necessarily to be an artist, just maybe they're a writer or musician or something like that. And this is just a cool thing to give anyone with some, you know, you could give it to anyone because you could put quotes on the back. It could just be a happiness deck, an inspirational deck. Wouldn't this be cool to make these for Christmas gifts or holiday gifts? Doesn't have to be Christmas, but definitely holiday, with this holiday season coming up. So, you know, this will look good in here. So I'm definitely going to get this because the colors I love. And Let's get a few things down. So once again, let's take this. That'll be nice there. So let's kind of get a torn edge. Same thing. So this will kind of spread between those two sections. So that covers up, there's a lot of blank space there. And when these are small, they don't look like as much blank space as they are when you get them larger. So that's why it's nice to go in and really flush them out with more things, because these images are so much larger than what they were in our journal. So that's good. I have this little piece here. Let's put that down there. Breaks it up. And the more smalls that you have and little bits and pieces, the more interesting the whole thing becomes. The noise outside my studio is I live near an air base, and it's time for their maneuvers. They do morning and afternoon maneuvers, so I apologize. I remember someone asking me what the noise was, so I thought I would tell you. Oh, this is cool. I like this because a few things happen. It's a lot of text here. I know it's upside down. It's gotten bigger, and I don't want to be able to read it underneath there. And you get enough of this zebra pattern without having to be too much. So if we take this and turn it on its side and put it down like this, we cover up a lot, and we get, so you're not focusing on the writing, and we get 2 cards that are going to have this on both sides. So that works. And I think what I'm going to do, I think this was just about done. I'm going to put something, I'm not going to even worry about putting something up there, because I can put a label or something like that when we're done, because we can put labels on these. Once you're done, you can finish the orientation by putting small things on them. You can put labels, you can put postage stamps. You have a vintage stamp collection, your labels. I mean, there's so much you can do to finish flushing them out. Let's put this right down here. Okay, that's good. So with this cut, I'm going to leave that a space for a label. Because see, I have this label right here. Once it's cut, I can put this here or something like that. But I'm going to do it once it's cut. So let's see. Oh, we just have this one left. Perfect. So now this whole space is going to be a card, right? That's a lot of space not to have anything, correct? So we're going to, let's get some more images. So maybe some of this is good. So I can kind of put this in between here. So since it's going to overlap, I don't want any of it to be a straight edge. So let's get rid of this. It's only going to come down to about right here. So that's good. So let's get this. So let's get this down. So yeah, just have fun with this. And actually, if you wanted to do this as an inspiration deck to do it at the holidays for gift giving or whatever, what you can do is get all your boards done like this, like we're doing, and then you can go and have these photocopied on maybe like a nice glossy stock. Take it to Kinko's or Office Max, anywhere where you can print if you don't have your own printer. And then you can then you can have as many sets of these made as you want. And then cut them, and you can do further embellishments. So let's say you get them to this stage before you put, or you can put the labels on too, but then you can add maybe 1 or 2 pieces. Oh man, I didn't want to do that. Let me see. I'll do it like this. Since I left that straight edge on after I glued it, then I'm lining the 2 straight edges up against each other, and that's a good way of hiding that straight line. Let me see. Let's do this. This would be good here. This text right here would be really good, kind of filling in to here. So yeah, so you could actually reproduce these, and then let's see if I can do the same thing. Let me see. I think I can do another straight line so that it works. But anyhow, so you can reproduce them, and then maybe just save one element. Maybe you just might save the labels to put on. Or maybe if you have various kind of stamps, like vintage postage stamps or something like. Why is this? Let me try this. It keeps on sliding. It won't just rip for me. Use this. So yeah, maybe you have some vintage stamps, and you want to put on each of the cards that you then are, you know, giving as gifts. Maybe you'll just put, you know, some kind of specialty something on there just to give it that extra hand embellishment. And then that way you save the time of just making a lot of these. So I'm going to take this and just try to line it up. Yeah, I'm going to line it up with, I like that, this edge here. Yeah, and then you're ready to, you know, have a punch. And then, you know, you could put them in just like Cinda did. She has hers in that really nice organza bag. You know, a lot of times Michael's and places like that sell them. Oh, I like it. That just blends in so nicely with this. So I think we're good. I just want to put something up there. We need something up there. Oh, this will be perfect. This strip right here. Let me cut this. I don't know how far I want it to come down, so let me just cut this. This will get lined up at the top. And then you could just put them in a nice little, those little organza bags. I mean, you could have a lot of fun. So if you're looking for some gift giving ideas, and like I said, these don't have to be given to artists. Everybody can use some inspirational words, you know, of encouragement. You know, you might, you know, many of us have books on our bookshelves of inspirational quotes, or, you know, those books that are written that have, you know, sort of inspirational thoughts. Go pull one of those off the shelf. And you could use those on the back of your cards. Oh, my fingers are so sticky. You could use that on those on the back of your cards. And, you know, you could do those. I mean, there's so many ways that this could just be. Just, oh, I love that. That's good. Good, good, good. Because that's a lot of space to leave open. So, yeah. Perfect. So when we cut this down, because could still use a little extra something up there. I think it's a little too much space. Let's put this. Let me just put this in there. So let's, sort of like the torn edge. So let's get rid of that. And yep. Actually, we could just put it right over into the other side, because whatever goes over there is only going to help. Maybe like that. So it's on the other side of that line going down. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to stop with that because I want to get these cut. And probably coming up on maybe we're coming up on an hour. Well, it'll be close to an hour by the time we're done. Okay. So we can just get this like right there. Oh yeah, love it. Okay, so that's flushed out pretty well, though. See, I need something there. I know you guys are saying, okay, okay. We need something there, though. Maybe this blue. This one had a lot of you know, sort of open space. So. Now this is where we can begin to kind of overlap where this straight line is. So I can get this in there and overlap like that and get a little bit of this down on the Duomo, but this is good. I like that. Actually, we can put it all the way across to there. Okay. Keep an eye on this time because my camera is getting ready to stop, and I'm famous for still talking. The camera's going. It needs to have a beep or something on it. Like I can hear a subtle click, which is when I normally know it stopped, but I could use a beep or something because when I get deep into it, I do not hear any of it. Okay. I hope that, you know, sort of me going through this process is really helping you too, just to see how you can flush out your own collages and things like that. Okay, this is good. And you can use something in that area. Let's get some text. Text is always good. So that's why I was pointing you to the text, because text is always good. So if you can take some, let me see, what do I have? I thought I cut another one, didn't I? Even sort of something, I feel like I want something in this area. We do have some of this. No. Oh. Something like this could be good. So when you have pages that have a lot of open space, you can see you have to do a little bit more work to it than the ones that are, you know, have full images. So keep that in mind too. So depending on how much work you want to do to your pages, when you blow them up, you know, you might select ones that, love that, that are maybe more full if you want to do less work. If you like collaging and you really want to fill your pages out, then, you know, you can, then it won't matter. You know, you can have it both ways. Okay, so let's cut this down. Like a lot of these, I would definitely still do more to, knowing me. I'd get some more translucent layers in here, but this is still good. This is really pretty full. Okay, so now what we want to do is, let's go back to our, let me get some of this stuff out the way so I'm not so crowded. Because I really didn't use any translucent papers, like anything that you could see through underneath them. So I probably would do that, but since I didn't have any at hand, I didn't want to stop and take time digging for them. Let's get rid of some of these pieces. Okay. So now, let's go ahead back to the first one we worked on so that, well, we didn't work on this one, so this one is dry. So what we want to do is get this halfway. So I'm going to take and do the good old-fashioned ruler. Since it's 8.5, we're going to do 4 1/4. I need to see the marks. Okay. And I'm going to get my, oops, knocked over one of those boxes of paints that I have underneath my desk. So let's flip it. And let's get this first one done. So make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, that's one, and I need to trim these a bit, trim the edges, but because you see it's a little bit where the paper, my cardstock was a little larger. And then it's 8.5 by 11, so that should mean we're going to do 5.5. So just mark it. Okay. Okay, so there we have. So see, we have our cards. This is always the fun part for me. To me, is seeing I did these 5. I meant to do 5.5. Oh, I did it. So you have 8.5 by 11. It's 5.5. Okay. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do, so as not to bore you with this, I'll stop and I'll be back with them all cut. But you can see how we're going to do them. So they're all going to be like this when I come back. How cool. I mean, just taking that. Now that was one that we didn't do anything to because it was really full. So you actually are ready to just turn these into cards. And then these are the backs. So I shall be back. Okay, so you guys will be glad I spared you of all that cutting, because then I wanted to trim everything and get all of my tops and everything right. So anyway, all right, so let's flip through them. I love them. Now I have these square corners on here, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my angle, because I just happen to like angled corners, but you can do round corners. I think doing something to the corners makes it more like a deck, so these little ends don't stick up. But here, I'll do a quick flip. I'm going to put something else here, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. See how good they look? So getting those extra layers on there really does flush out some neat cards. I think this one goes like that. Look how that one turned out. That's so nice. This one's good. This one. So you can see on some of them you could still add different things in, but you see how these corners come together? So like there's just bits and pieces. Here's another piece of it. So it's a nice thing to do with the corner. This was the one that we did, the circle. So you see just a little bit in each corner is nice. Here's some here. It just adds a little extra something off the edge so everything's not in the center. It's a nice way of collaging so that happens. And then here we are. So basically then with the backs are all these pretty backs, you know, so you can just have at beginning to put your messages on there. I'm going to finish this one off. I'll show you what I was going to do. So just so you can get an idea, and I'll put a label on it so you can sort of see what I'm thinking about with the labels. And so I'm going to put this over to about right here. Get this. I don't want to cover up that word. The T there. But that just will take care of this space. So when you come back and look at your cards, if there are little spaces like that that you don't like, just grab your small scraps and keep going with it. So I'll put this here. And then, so with this label that I pulled out, you can actually put the label right there. That takes up some more space. And I'm going to put a label on each of mine because I like the labels. And since some of them already have labels as a part of the original ones that were done, it's kind of cool to kind of keep that theme going. So, see, that just flushes the card out so nicely. And so it's like done. What I'm going to also do now is, so I'll take one of the cards here. I need to trim that. I don't like that little bit up the top, so I'm not going to do that one. But this one is good. So I'll show you how to do the angle. So I'm going to use the small angle. If you like the angle, you don't have to have one of these anglers. You can just literally take your scissors and snip the edge off. But since I have the tendency to make everything, this is a small angle. And it just nips off that little bit, and it just turns it more into, you know, like a card that's got a little extra something going on. So it doesn't look, you know, I'll do all of these since they're basically done. I know my corners are done. Let me see this one. So I'll do a few of them. That way you can see how it just gives it a whole different finish if you go ahead and do your corners. And so to these, I'm going to add now embellish. So you can sort of think of like if you go and get, like I was talking about, you know, have sets of these made. You see how much better they look with the corners? Just either rounded or just snipped like this. It just, all of a sudden now it has a deck feel to it because it's not going to be these little edges sticking up like that. So let's say that you wanted to have like do the whole photocopying thing. And then if you save labels for afterwards, you can come back with some labels. Let me get some different colors here. I know I have some reds, but I have some blues. And I have greens. I got all kind of colors. But like just pull some different labels out. And you can use anything. If you like using flowers, you know, butterflies. I just thought about that because I came across this butterfly that I had a butterfly stamp when we were doing some of these. And so literally you could put that down, you know, flush it out. So many things you can do. I'm just kind of getting some of these different ones here, some different colors. So, you know, I could say, I could literally even, since I have a lot of space right there, I could literally put this down so that it does actually go off the page and then cut it. So I'll show you. So you can still put your labels so they go off this page so it seems like it was, you know. So let's say I can just sort of do it like this. Kind of cool. And then clip it. Get rid of that part of it. So it still has this sensation of being off the edge. I can take like this one, 3500, put it right there, and put it up there. So yeah, and then you can come back with your labels and just have fun. Finishing them up, and it just gives it a little extra texture. You know, when you rub your hand over it, you feel that from a visual standpoint, your eye already is seeing it as a collage. But when a person actually receives them and they can feel it, it's like, wow, you know, it's been finished with a little bit of texture. So I won't go through all of them because you guys have the idea, but put that one there. But I wanted to just kind of give you enough of that one there, sort of like how to do these so you would know. Just give you some ideas. that down there. That one says 10 days. I don't know why, but I like it. So just kind of put your labels in some of the spots that are open, or that, you know, could use a little something. And so I'll stop there because I could be doing this. I could do this for another hour. But you all have the idea. So get your edges done. Keep on putting your labels on them. And then, see, I love them. And just what, it's 20 of them here. And then you can, like I said, print out whatever you want to put on the back. And I would just, you know, type everything up, print it out once. And you know what, when you go to do these, you can actually, for those of you who think spatially like that, you can literally have your originals. When you do your original, you can make a grid. So when you have the full sheet, so the whole full sheet, let's say, and once you get all of your things typed up, then if you sort of think of a grid pattern, I'll just show you this real quick. If you sort of think of this as a grid, you can even maybe do a template. So let's say this is the 4, right? Then on your full image, you know, the full image before you cut them down, on the back, you can actually, you know, maybe rip your edges, or if you want them to be cut nice and square, however you want to do them, glue down your sayings or your quotes on the back of the full image page before you cut it down. Okay? So that way, when you take them to be photocopied, you can do two-sided photocopy. So this will be the image on the front, and then when they run it through again, the image would be on all of your, you know, you wouldn't have the lines there, but all of your sayings would have already been gridded in. And one of the things you can do is to take, an easy way to do it is to take some plastic and make do this, you know, 4-corner piece on a piece of plastic, or, you know, whatever that you can see through it. Then make that line. That way, when you go to do your template, you can literally lay it down over top of your backing, right? So let's say this is my back. Not to confuse you all, but this is my back. So if I took this and laid it over it, you know, let's say if it had these lines on it, now I can clearly see where to put my word. So I can literally glue it up, sort of lift it up, and sort of put it here because I can see where the lines are going. Does that make sense? That's how I would do it. And then I would get each of my quotes just where I want them, and then get the next sheet, put this down, do all 5 of them, and then take them, full sheet it, and have the front that has our images on it reproduced, have your backs, have them flip it over and put the back on there. They'll do it. So that gives you your fronts and your backs, and if you want 5 sets, 10 sets, however many sets you want, they're all done. And then when you come back, you cut them, and then you can maybe sign the bottom of each one if you want to do them all by hand, or you can actually, you know, sign them, you know, on the original, so when they're reproduced, your name is there. And then they're ready to then cut down like this and finish embellishing. So hope that's not too much, but I wanted to give you the full concept. So for those of you who want to make these as gifts, you can think in those terms. And if you just want to make a set for yourself, well, that's going to be easy because you just do them, cut them down, and then on the back of each one, you can put your, whatever you're going to put down, you can put them on there. But I think that these just make great gifts. And look, it's all your artwork, and you get to share your artwork in a way that I think is unique and inspirational. And I know the recipients would just really enjoy getting these. So I hope that was inspiring and not too long. I try to cut all of the long parts so that you guys wouldn't have to sit around and watch that. That's super boring. And yes, and while we're doing all this, really think about and appreciate ether, that element, that quintessence, and the element of spirit, of our soul, of, you know, of inspiration, our muses, just all of that. And I hope that you enjoyed the idea of taking and being able to reuse and reproduce from the art journal that is so nice and chunky and that we've spent all year creating. This is just the first one. We got the second one going right here. So the second one's beginning. And yeah, so this is all good reproducible artwork. All right, I'm gonna let you all go. Love you all. Have the rest of the Saturday. Have a good one, a happy Saturday, a fun one. Enjoy the time in your studio. And if you're new to my channel, please, you know, hit the subscribe button and then hit all so you get all the notifications. And I've started doing premieres, so look for the premiere and jump on. And I've been doing lives. I've been enjoying it because it's Saturday morning. I'm just still hanging around the house most Saturday mornings. So I've been enjoying chatting with you all. Thanks for, you know, coming in. And the last few times it's been 50 or more of us just watching and chatting at the same time. So that's been a lot of fun. Thank you all for that. And please hit the thumbs up if you like the video. And I'm going to let you guys go. Love